Welcome to Grey Primer. My name is Nick. I'm your host, and in today's episode, I'm going to be looking through the codices of the Adepta Sororitas and the Blood Angels. So I'm not currently a 40k player. I've started to collect. I've started to think about paint schemes. I'm really into the lore. I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks from the Black Library, and I'm pretty fascinated by chapter histories and things like that, and successor chapters. And I want to, really do this the right way too. So I want to build out like a Sisters of Battle army. I want to build out well, Blood Angels here, but really for me it's Blood Drinkers. And I want to see if these books are going to have like paint guides. Do they have lore? Do they have rules for where you display numbers and, chapter markings and things like that? Because I want to do it right. Is everything I need in here? Or is it just a whole bunch of rules that's specific to these armies and really won't be of use to me until I start to play? But let's see. Let's see what they look like inside and see who these are actually for. Okay, so look at that gorgeous artwork. Absolutely beautiful. Codex Adeptus Astartes Blood Angels. We've got the plasma pistol here, the jump pack, the spinning chain sword there, purity seals and blood vials. There's no doubt in which chapter this belongs to. Even the little blood drop there with the wing on it. You've got Marines, looks like jump packs in the background going. That just looks fantastic. The iconography is everywhere with Blood Angels. I guess it's the same with each chapter, but it's just so noticeable, the blood drops and the chalices and all of that. I mean, they wear it right there on their sleeves. It's all about the blood. Look at the color of them. Just fantastic. Blood and skulls, baby. Up here in the corner, got this really cool looking chalice there with the wing. Down at the bottom, you've got the half Blood Angel skull. Sorry, the half skull and then the half Blood Angel's helmet. The actual material here is kind of a mix of, goes from matte into this lovely laminated sort of glossy finish. And where the text is actually matte as well. The actual pieces, the letters there are matte. So it's got a lovely tactile feel to it as you run your finger over it. Really cool. Well designed. On the back, we've got examples of the miniatures fully painted up. Some really cool sort of heavy armor there as well. Little dreadnought, my favorites, tucked away at the back. Another Death Company one over here with the Death Company sort of hanging out just ahead of it there. And yeah, lovely. Breakdown is sort of, what you get in the book. The Blood of Sanguinius, a little bit of introduction to the lore of the Blood Angels. Games Workshop logo here. And I think that the Adepta Sororitas has the new logo. Yeah, it does. So it's got the new sort of hammer and eagle logo there. And the other stuff I think is the same. So let's get inside. Not going to go through everything in this book. That's for you. You go, if you like what you see here from my quick flick through, go and get it yourself. The actual quality of them seems very good. So far I'm liking what I'm seeing. This is like a card stock here, which is very cool. Beautiful sort of battle scene here with the gene stealers and all the creatures that come with the hive fleet going up against the Blood Angels in very close combat. You got the bolter pistol firing here, the chainsword spinning. It just looks hopeless, doesn't it? This wall of Xenos and a few last Marines. This is a Death Company dreadnought. You can see the X here. Marines jump packing in. I don't think either of these are Death Company, but it's kind of hard to tell. I think that weapon on that one is called a Blood Talon. The pointy ones, I think, are Blood Talons, but you can see the sort of lightning going across the surface of it there. Yeah, I think the The blunt one is the blood claw, and these pointy ones are blood talons. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. Anyway, let's get further in. Beautiful artwork here as well. We got the Mask of Sanguinius, their Primarch, the lovely feathered wings, this chalice, the blood chalice. We got two caged in what look like Death Company skulls with a red X across them. And really nice. Blood Angels, Protectors of Mankind. What? Yeah. They feed on some mankind, I guess. But they protect the rest of them. What's really nice about this is that it looks like this book has been left on a table that's soaked in blood, and it's just kind of been drawn into the pages. You know, this brown stains, the blood stains. Really nice, really thematic. Good quality paper. Looks slightly satiny. Yeah, it's not shiny, it's not flat, it's somewhere in between. And good paper stock. Yep, feels good. And here we have the breakdown of the contents. Let me see, this was copyright 2017, okay. We've got lore here. And then we go into the heraldry, so the kind of the look. So this is the lore and the look. Then the different units here. I guess all of their points values will be in there. How they break down and the sort of special skills. So this would be kind of how you build out your army. And you can decide on how you want to strategize that. And that kind of leads us into this section here, which is what the various stratagems can work out like. Tactical objectives and all the other stuff. I guess this would be the area I'd be weakest on, because I haven't played much of this. That would be quite new to me. So it does look like there's a ton for me as a new inductee into the grimdark future. So I'm really happy about that. Introduction, some more beautiful art here. And speaking of beautiful art, wow, that's so cool. And you see the different helmet colors here. We've got like different knee logos, yeah. And pauldron markings. Sanguinius, the Primarch, was blonde-haired pretty boy, 2 meters tall, but blonde-haired and pretty. He, of course, that carries through the gene seed. So all of the blood angels, once they've gone through the transformation process, are reborn as these huge, beautiful blonde dudes. And through the process of war and age, I guess, they gradually become a little bit more rugged looking and, scarred, I guess, cybernetic replacements if something gets hacked off them. So some will be prettier than others as the years pass, but essentially they all start the same. Dante, who is the chapter master, he's the one who hides behind. He wears the death mask of Sanguinius. The Primarch, he wears the mask that represents the look of horror in Sanguinius' face when he realized that his brother Horus, the War Master, had betrayed the Emperor and had essentially split the Imperium man in half. So that's the face that Dante wears over his, and part of that is because Dante's got old. He's, I can't remember, he's over 1,000 years old anyway, maybe like as much as 1,500 years. And he is hiding that a little bit because he doesn't want it to be a sign of weakness underneath, because he doesn't drink blood. So he ages, albeit very slowly. The book Dante is a fantastic read. I highly recommend that you have a read of that. I listen to it in Audible, as I do with most books. and really enjoyed every minute of it. I followed it immediately with the Devastation of Baal because the two just seem to blend into each other beautifully. At some point, I'll get into Mephiston and a few other things. I've only recently got into the Black Library of Warhammer 40k, and I'm just enjoying it thoroughly. And I'm enjoying it in Audible. They often have 3-for-2 offers on 40k stuff, as do they have offers on Sigmar and everything else. Highly recommended. Anyway, what do we got here? Different colored helmets, different units maybe. We'll hopefully find that out. But pretty cool looking tableau. And what look like Chaos Space Marines here with the creepy wings. Here we have a introduction to them. We've got some beautiful art over here as well. Another version of Sanguinius' mask here. And then like this. I mean, this is just absolutely gorgeous. We've got what looks like High Fleet Leviathan. Yeah. Coming into Sac Baal. I thought that was an angel representation, but I think it's actually a huge statue looking down over the battle. And the scale here is just insane. Absolutely insane. I would love a print of that for my wall. I think that looks stunning. I'd love to have the original of that on my wall, but failing that, I mean, I wonder, is there anywhere you can order prints of this stuff? I must check that out because I think that's gorgeous. And I guess that relates to the Battle for Baal. Because I am into the Black Library, I'm getting there. I'm getting into it more and more. I don't necessarily want any spoilers when I'm reading through books like this. So the likes of the Battle for Baal here, at least I can quickly see there's, this is the bit that relates to this, obviously. But I know I can skip over that if I haven't read the book yet. If I haven't read The Devastation of Baal, although the title of the book kind of gives away what happens, I can skip past that. I don't have to worry about sort of spoiling that. This is gorgeous. Horus Heresy, that's something I want to get to as well. And the Blood Angel's part in it. Confrontation, Aftermath, yep. Even the Great Crusade, which precedes the Heresy. I don't want to know about any of that until I've read the books. Coming of Sanguinius, Creation of Angels. So these are all things that at some point in the future I'll get into. Primaris Space Marines. Now I know when they come in because I've just finished a book that relates to that. But like here, there's nothing spoily here. Got the Flaw, which is in the gene seed, the Thirst for Blood over here. The Blood Angels chapter themselves, they kind of have, I think it's wine and blood they mix. So they call it vitae and wine. And I think that's just something they continually ingest. I guess it staves off the red thirst. That's just something they do. And when a Marine goes into the Black Rage, when a Blood Angel goes into the Black Rage, they lose sense of time and place, and they could end up thinking they're fighting a war 10,000 years in the past due to that sort of the genetic memory that's in their gene seed. Pretty scary stuff when you get in here. But great reading. Great reading. And then we can see the breakdown of the Blood Angels. This is, so this is post-Baal. And I don't think it's giving away too much to say that they needed to be restructured after Baal. That's how bad things got there. It's not a spoiler because the book is called The Devastation of Baal. You know it's not going to go well when the book's called The Devastation of something. So what you have here is a restructured Blood Angels, which is great. You can really sort of get a feel for a unit that you could maybe build up, that you could, see something like, say the second company here, the Blooded. You can see that there's like a captain. You can see the 2 lieutenants. You can see the battle line squads, the close support, 2 fire squads, and 5 dreadnoughts. So you could go and build that. You could create the second company and have that as the company that you field when you go to battle. Or maybe you don't field a army. Maybe you just have it in a display cabinet or something like that, all painted up. But this gives it that sense of almost like realism, that it places it within the lore. And when you're reading books about the Blood Angels, or maybe it's mentioned in the pages of White Dwarf or something, and it talks about the second company of Blood Angels, you'd be like, that's mine! I have them! They're over there! Which is really neat. It just gives it that sort of feeling of, you know, it's placed firmly within the lore. The lore. Of course, you don't have to do any of that. You could create an 11th company if you wanted, or wipe out one of these and make it your own. What does it matter? It's your game. You play it the way you want to play it. You paint it the way you want to paint it. I like the idea of like fitting one within this. And I say that, but of course I'm going to turn them into blood drinkers. I'm going to have my Blood Angels painted up actually as a successor chapter, and I can't wait to do that. But anyway, this is cool. It's good to see. That gives you a good idea of what sort of the build-up of company is, how much you should actually have in there. And cool. So this is where it gets juicy. So these are all of the color schemes of the different companies, the different squads, the armor over here, the vehicle markings. You can see the different colors of helmets for different units. And then these are all different ranks, I think. Yeah, so you get sergeant, lieutenant, and captain. These are the 10 companies. And then the death company at the bottom. And you've got the 10 companies over here as vehicle markings. And then you have the knee pad colors for the different squads. So that's kind of cool. So I remember seeing those colored helmets back here. Okay, so we got a blue helmet. And the rest of these dudes are yellow. So blue designates someone from fire support. And yellow is close support. So, of course, the guy in close support is fighting face to face, and he's got a sword. Of course he does. And fire, was that battle line? Or fire, that's fire support. And he's got a plasma gun here as well. So, and then what else have we got? And we've got the yellow and red. Okay, so that's a lieutenant. So you have a lieutenant here fighting. I can't see what squad he's in. That's obscured, but I can see the squads of these ones. They've got the yellow with the sort of winged black thing. Yep, there it is there. So they're in 10th squad. And that's so cool. Yeah, you can really place them here. I'm guessing this is a captain. I don't see. Oh, there's so the winged skull here. And you can see the icon there as well. So that's really neat. You can place these within their different squads, within their different companies. And I think that's fantastic. Really easy to sort of spot who does what job just by even the helmet color. I don't know if all the other heraldry in the different chapters has the same sort of clean structure as that, but I find that really easy to understand. And then we're into the successor chapters and my beloved blood drinkers over there. Really, really can't wait to get painting on those. So we've got this is the one that's talked about in the Devastation of Baal, the Angels Vermilion, which is sort of the black sheep of the family. I think they're the ones who do the taking blood slaves. I think that's them. They capture people and farm their blood from them. So that's pretty nasty. And then you have different ones here as well. The very sort of amazingly named Flesh Terrors. I think that's such a cool one. Angels and Carmine, I think they're the ones that are always working. Yeah, so they're the ones that no matter what the call is, they'll go and they'll support, and they're a real sort of workhorse. So anyway, gives you a nice feel for the different successor chapters. Anyway, Looks like different battles and wars. So again, because I'm just sort of getting into the lore, I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to find out how all these things end. So, oh, whoa. Those orcs. Yeah, look at the orcs here. These are so cool. And this incredible battle. That is magnificent looking. Oh man, where do they get these paintings done? Like, who is doing this work? Because they never seem to have the artist's name or anything on them. I don't know whether they're commissioned or something like that, or whether it's someone in-house, but they are beautiful. Truly, truly beautiful. Commander Dante himself. There's the screaming death mask of Sanguinius. And the Sanguinor, this is kind of this weird angel dude who turns up and normally doesn't say anything, but I think it's only Dante who has talked to him in the last, whatever, 10,000 years. And that was only about a couple of words. Don't want to give too much away there, but Sanguinor kind of comes down when all else is lost and kicks some butt and then leaves again. The Sanguinary Guard, I think, are Dante's sort of close protection detail. Jump packs and stuff. They have wings, but, you know, they're just using jump packs. It's all for show. Nice art there again. And then various sort of main players, I guess, the hierarchy of the Blood Angels here. We've got Mephiston as the chief librarian, and then the other librarians here. Mephiston, the Lord of Death. You know, if you want a reminder that these aren't good guys, there you go. There's your nickname. But pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that's the next book in the series about the Blood Angels that I'm going to read. And then we have the chaplains, the High Chaplain over here, Astreth the Grim. When you're kind of, you succumb to the rage, the Black Rage, and you're added to a death company to have one last hurrah, because you just can't be trusted anymore to lead a normal life, as normal as it gets as a Space Marine. Those days are behind you. You've crossed over into that sort of madness, that lost in time fugue state that Black Rage Marines get into in the Blood Angels. You're put into these death companies, and you're just pretty much sort of sent in early. You're sent at the front. You're sent into the hopeless situations to have your last great sort of battle. Death Company Marines are not expected to survive when they're sent into battle. Their war gear and everything would be retrieved afterwards, and it would be the likes of Astreth the Grim who would wander the battlefield looking for them. And any who were nearly at the point of death, any who were completely lost, he would be the one who would put them out of their misery, be the sort of the final step in that long life. So really, Redeemer of the Lost. Yeah, so cool. Alrighty. Not sure how you pronounce that. Lamartes. Guardian of the Lost. Oh, this is the one. Right, so here's your death company dudes. And of course they look ninja, don't they? They're all in black with highlights of red, these red X's over everything. They just look so elite. The problem is that it's the last uniform you'll ever wear. Lamartes is the one who... the only Blood Angel, I think, who ever came out the other side of a battle after being inducted into the Death Company. Had enough of a wherewithal to plead their case to be allowed to fight like in more battles. And I think they just kind of thaw him out when they want to put him into a scuffle. So he's thawed out, given a brand new death company to lead, sent off into the front again. I guess there'll be a point where he is not Compos Mentis when they find him in the battlefield, when Astorath goes out to do the job and find out sort of, who needs to be put out of their misery. I guess there'll come a time where this one here is not able to plead his case, and Astorath will put him down. But still going to this day, so that's kind of cool. Can't imagine he's happy about it, but hey. We get into the breakdown of the command structure. You've got your captains here, your lieutenants or lieutenants for people in North America. We have, let me see, I think each captain has a company. Yeah, so each captain controls a company, so you just have 10 captains within the Blood Angels at any given time, and then under each of those are 2 lieutenants. So you've got 20 lieutenants at any given time. So it's kind of interesting that when you sort of think of that's your entire leadership team within those companies. So not a lot of people, really, for a huge chapter of Marines. But here you go. So another famous figure from the books, Gabriel Seth, Chapter Master of the Flesh Terrors. And then we get into the company command, how that breaks down with ancients, veterans, champions. Some more beautiful, really dramatic art there. It looks like they're having a fight with Slaanesh. Battle line squads, cool. So what it talks about earlier with the sort of what the breakdown of the different companies looked like, the different squads. Here we go. We've got what that actually looks like when you're thinking about the individual characters. And for us, when you're thinking about what miniatures to buy. So you can see the battle line can be made up of intercessors and tactical squads. And I guess they would have very different sort of maybe weapons choices or something like that. Maybe points ratings. We've got close supports. These are the yellow helmets. Yeah. And you got inceptors and assault squads. And we got reavers, bike squads, land speeders. So I guess that all comes under that. And then into fire sports are the blue helmets. Oh, that is so cool. These twin belt-fed weapons and the power fists. Loving that. And oh man, look at this gun. I gotta get me one of them. Devastator squads. And then we get into veteran squads here. These Terminator assault guys are amazing looking. Beautifully painted there as well. I think that's the one from the cover. Just kind of cool. Yay! Oh, and those dreadnoughts. Oh, look at this artwork. I love dreadnoughts so much. I didn't realize there were so many different versions of it. That's cool. I need to get me one of each of those. Scout squads, and this is neat here. This looks like a bar fight that's just gone really badly wrong. We get Tech Marines, the Servitors. It's cool this because I've been just reading about all of these in the lore in Dante and in the Devastation of Baal, and seeing images of them here is just cool. It just sort of rounds it all out. And then we get into my second favorite thing, which is sort of rolling armor, these vehicles. I think this is a repulsor, razorbacks and rhinos, and this is a really nice color scheme for the flesh terrors, this orange and black. It would almost tempt me to paint up one of those. Almost. Predators, battle predators, and then a different breakdown of what all these look like. This is nice. I really like this. You can see the rhino core underneath each of them. Which is, it makes absolute sense. It makes absolute sense for producing these in a factory. Every single vehicle in this range anyway starts with a rhino base. So that's cool. It also means the engine parts are the same, so if you're on the battlefield, it's easy to get spares and everything. You only have to carry so many. And this is the other platform that a lot of stuff is based around, the Land Raider. I remember when they were first released back in the day. Then we get Storm Raven gunships, Storm Talon gunships. I didn't even hear about that one before. And some examples of them in flight. And then we're into the heraldry of the host here, so we can see all the color schemes and the Dante miniature. It's kind of small. That's interesting. I'm not sure about that sculpt. The Mephiston one looks cool. And the Astaroth one looks pretty cool, but yeah, I'm not sure about the Dante one. I don't know. Maybe I've just built them up in my mind too much after reading about them. We got Tyranids here versus Blood Angels. I guess this is replicating one of the battles in Baal, of which there were many. Or maybe it's one of the moons or something. The Sanguinar miniature is gorgeous. This just makes me want to go and shop. Anyway, some really great inspiration here for paint jobs. Those Predators look fantastic. I'm loving the damage around the front here and sort of the mud marks and everything. Yeah, I think that's the best part of doing vehicles is when you're doing those environmental effects on them and decay and things like that. Just look how cool that Dreadnought looks. I love that. This is spectacular as well. And the thing is, you can sort of break down by the squads. Going back to that reference page, you can see which squads these are, what company they're attached to, which I think is brilliant. Death Company. Loving this. Not sure about the blue talons, but I guess that's the lightning effect or something we saw earlier. They're trying to replicate there. Great Battle Predator in the middle of all of that. I think that's actually the Start Collecting set right there from last week's video. I'll put a link in the description below for that. That's brilliant. I love that red X on top of the tank. On top of the Rhino there. I guess if it's going to be your last battle, you might as well look cool. And then we get into, I guess, really getting into closer into the game itself here, getting away from the lore, into the different types of weapons and things that involved in the war gear lists. And yeah, here we have the sort of the stat sheets and everything for everyone. And I guess I'll just quickly flick through these and sort of pause for some of the admiring some of this art. The Sanguinar there. And I love that they've included images for each of the painted miniatures. That's nice. Is that a Storm Raven out of focus in the background? That's a nice picture. And then we have Librarians, Astaroth, Marty's, Chaplains. Different thing for Primaris Chaplains. That's curious. And various captains in different armor types, lieutenants, Primaris lieutenants. Oh wow. Tech Marine forges into battle, having restored the faltering machine spirit of a mighty Land Raider Crusader. Oh, that's too cool. Look how grisly they look. Oh man. I want all of these. The Scouts as well, so they're what, 10th Company? Oh, they're too cool. Wouldn't even think about getting a squad of Scouts, but I might do. Okay. So, I wonder, do the Blood Drinkers have Scouts? I suppose they do. And various squads and units here. It's nice art. Dreadnoughts. Bike squad. Okay. just quickly flick through the rest here. Okay, and then we're into the armory of the Blood Angels. So these are different weapons and all of their effects. Oh, wow. You orcs are not going to have a good day. Mind you, they got some nice air support there. And this huge dude over here. Never discount an orc. And, oops. Sense of Sanguinius, and then into different stratagems and things. So that's kind of lost on me at the minute, but will probably be of great use to me later on. And then a repeat of the opening image there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. And for part 2, we have the Adepta Sororitas. It is another beautifully put together book. Same sort of matte finish here into the glossy laminated. The text is the same sort of texture to it. And again, really nice sort of battle scene there. Lots of painted miniatures, a bit of maybe dry ice or something to give a nice effect there. A misty effect. That's kind of cool. And they got some nice vehicles. Boy, oh boy. They are pretty. That's pretty special. And whatever that hovering pulpit thing is, that's cool. All right. So again, a brief introduction here and a breakdown of sort of the main sections, as it was with the Blood Angels. So who will have the best artwork? Oh, that's dark. I am hoping you can make that out, but that is really dark. Hopefully there's a color version of that inside. Actually, I think I've seen the color version of this in White Dwarf. So that's kind of interesting. Looks like Tau here as well. Okay, we'll go on because it's kind of dark to see. Oh, it's not just gorgeous. Look at that opening image. With the skulls with the flaming sort of torches on top of them. The fleur-de-lis, the praying here, so showing the dedication to the God Emperor. And that's just really pretty. So let's grab this one. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. Lined up beside each other. So no blood smearing on this book, sorry, but this looks a bit green there. And still pretty nice. Same quality and everything. This sort of cardstock to start, and then sort of satin pages. And again, we have a bit of the lore. We have the breakdown of the breakdown of the units is here. The stratagems are here, and over here we have hopefully the iconography, maybe a breakdown of the different the orders and everything. Or that'll be in here, I guess. Okay, I don't know. Let's get into this. Maybe it doesn't follow the same structure exactly as the other one. Introduction. Oh, man. Okay, so that's that image. Right, okay. So this is in lit up and in full color. We got all these Tau units. We got these, I think they're called Repentia units. We got these penitent engines. For some reason, there's Starship Enterprise. I'm kidding. And look how cool these sisters are. Maybe some augmentation here with maybe a cybernetic eye, something like that. I love that they have candles burning. I wonder how they manage that. Or their little drones which fly behind them, continually relighting them. It wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. A unit as close to the Emperor as these guys are, they could probably, there'll probably be a few extra servitors knocking around. Warriors of the Faith. Some beautiful art here. And again, they knock it out of the park with, on this opening page, with a piece of artwork that would easily deserve a 2-page spread. That is beautiful. It kind of gives me a feel of like, almost like medieval France. The iconography, the artwork, that in some alternate history there's battle nuns protecting medieval France. Who's to say there weren't? Probably historians, but hey, let's move on. But this is beautiful. And some more incredible art here. So I am not too much up to speed on Adepta Sororitas. I hope there's some lore out there. I imagine there is, or that it's coming soon. But I imagine that there's some really great standalone Black Library books around or based on the Adepta Sororitas. And famous battles, famous sisters or canonesses or sister superiors who have fought with them or who have helped to shape their current state. I hope there's lore out there. I'm going to get into it. I don't want to spoil any of the parts for me, so I'm reluctant to read too much. I don't mind reading about individual units, but I don't want to read about their history until I've had a chance to go through the books. Wow, this is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Oh, man. Like, seriously, who are these artists? These are just beautiful. Oh, cool. A breakdown of the entire Adepta Sororitas. So I believe there are non-militant ones as well. So under the second preceptory, you've got the command here of the canoness. And then you've got the preceptory command squad. And then you go underneath the preceptories, you're into the commanderies, of which the example they're giving here is the 4th. You get the canoness commander. Okay. And then commandery assets here, which is the different sort of mixture of non-militant and militant. And then within a commandery, there are multiple missions, IIC, etc., and etc. over here. Okay. So this just gives an idea of how these break down into each structure, right down all the way to the bottom. So this is the second mission of the 4th commandery of the 2nd preceptory. That would be the flow of this. So you'd be 1st squad, 2nd mission, 4th commandery, 2nd preceptory of the Adepta Sororitas. Makes absolute sense now. So that's good. Okay, initially it's a bit confusing, but it actually makes a lot of sense once you start to break it down. Cool. Look at this art. How amazing is that? That is just so fantastic. It's a great reference point for painting as well. I like that it describes what these different helmets actually represent. Order of our Martyred Lady. Okay, so this is the breakdown of each of the orders. Order of the Valorous Heart. Order of the Bloody Rose, and this one that aesthetically looks closest to the Blood Angels and the Blood Drinkers, so this is the one I'm going to go with. And while they're completely separate to the Blood Angels or the Blood Drinkers, in my case, I think they're just going to look really cool fighting alongside them. I'm going to go through a lot of red paint, a lot of gold paint, but that's okay. Ebon Chalice looks kind of interesting. I've seen some of these some miniatures painted up in this coloration. The Trinity of Faith. So this is the God Emperor of Mankind, Light of the Empyrean, Savior of Humanity, Divine Sovereign of the Galaxy. Wow. Meatbag sitting in a golden throne. He's had a sword stolen from him. Or any of these, it's up to you. The Ecclesiarch, ordained servant of the Emperor, voice of the faithful, embodiment of holy truth. And then Saint Dominica, chosen warrior of the Emperor, champion of the faithful, spirit of holy wrath. Yeah, the Trinity of Faith. Very cool. And we have the Order of the Argent Shroud. Actually, maybe it was that color scheme I saw in a few miniatures. I love the dual firing pistols here with the cartridges going out either side. That's pretty spectacular looking. Order of the Sacred Rose. Just check out that art in close-up. That is just spectacular work. I wish I knew who these artists were, because I'd love to like follow them on Instagram or whatever and check out the rest of their stuff, because what they've got in these books is mind-blowing. Okay, and then we're into these orders, the Minoris. Oh, wow. Shaved heads here. Okay, so what do we got? Golden Light, Wounded Heart, the Ashen Shrine, Iron Veil. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving the shaved heads here as well. Order of the Thorn. The blood soaked here as well. And the thorns wrapped around the fleur-de-lis. Brilliant stuff. Glowing Chalice. This looks very close to Blood Angels territory. But hey. I'm liking the hair here as well with the white streak through it. But these two here, especially this one, but maybe just because of this image, I think perhaps this with this iconography. That could tempt me into painting some of those up. I must see if there are any more images of the Sisters of the Iron Veil. Pretty special looking stuff there. And then into the non-Melendortas. This would be the Dialogus, the Hospitalers, the Famulus. I'm so sorry if my pronunciations are off on these. I'm guessing these come from some kind of, or that they come from Latin. It's been a long time since I studied Latin. And then we have the Spread Across the Galaxy, which is very cool. Give you an idea of just how far afield they are. So this would be the Order of the Bloody Rose here, on Rin's world, with what is that, Imperial Fists. They are going to be a long way from Baal, because it is up here somewhere. Yep. So that's, they're not exactly neighbors. Anyway, it doesn't matter. On the battlefield, they're going to look fantastic beside each other. This is cool. The ecclesiastical parishes. Oh, that's nice. Wars of Faith, definitely don't want to read about that, because that is going to be spoiler territory. Threshing Fields, oh, that sounds so cool. Oh, wow, that's neat. Maybe not as dramatic as the other pieces of art, but certainly super contrasty and really, really catches the eye. And then we get into sort of different special figures, or different people of higher ranks. We've got Canonesses here. We've got Junith Eurida, Eruda. Seriously, I don't know how to pronounce that. Erwita? Sounds like breakfast cereal. Anyway, this was the floaty dude from the back page here. So that's kind of special looking. Interesting. Celestine, the Living Saint. There are definite parallels to the Blood Angels here. Triumph of St. Catherine. I know that's a special figure. That's like a diorama. I'm hoping to get some Adepta Sororitas miniatures in the future. I do have the tank there that's going to be featured in an upcoming tank weekend. The Immolator. I'm hoping to get a few more bits and pieces from them. And then we get into, like we saw in the Blood Angels book there, in the Blood Angels Codex, the breakdown of the different squads. Battle Sisters, Dominion, Retributor. Oh, that's pretty cool looking there. Angelic Host got the Seraphim, the Zephyrim, the Repentia. Repentia are really interesting to me. That's the ones who are just, they're stripped of their war gear. They're down to basics and hand-to-hand weapons. They got like swords. I think they get chain swords. And they're just really sent in to repent for, I guess, not living up to the standards of the order or some crime maybe that they committed. I'm not really sure. Again, I want to get stuck into the lore, really find out the details behind them, before I read too much here. I've read enough to sort of get the vibe of them, and I'm really into that. I think that's gonna be a really interesting part of it. Celestian squads, Imagifiers. So we got our Hospitalers here. We've got Dialogy. Transport. Oh, is that the Immolator? Oh, it totally is, with its stained glass window and its. Oh, look at that. Is that the Immolation Cannon? Is that what that's called? That is just so cool. I am totally digging that tank. I am so glad I own one of those. I can't wait to share it with you in a few weeks. But look at that thing. Looking forward to getting some of the rhinos as well. And one of these bad boys, the Exorcists. They're just really spectacular looking tanks. And again, based on the rhino platform, but actually I noticed that it's not the bog standard rhino sprue. They actually have an Adepta Sororitas rhino sprue, so that's pretty cool. At least they've done a new sculpt on that. Ministorum priests, ecclesiastical warriors. Oh wow, very crusader looking there. Arcoflagellants. It kind of looked a bit strange to me, but I'm sure there's a reason behind them. Penitent engines. I do like these. They look like they're being controlled by zombies. They're controlled by men as well, which I thought was unusual. They do look singularly spectacular with these buzzsaws and the flamer units and everything. I mean, that must make some hell of a racket going across the battlefield and just look terrifying. And then, of course, we're into now the painted miniature examples. There'll be some from each chapter. That actually looks just like the piece of artwork from before, but in miniature form and fully painted. Lovely. We got tanks in the background. We've got some great scenery here. I'm loving these Seraphim on their flight stands with their fully engaged jump packs. Some of them look like they're just coming into land. Some are just setting off. These are beautifully detailed miniatures. So I'm going to have to get some of those, I guess. Because would you just look at that? That's incredible. Going up against Craft Worlds here. That's great. Which I built last week as well. So there you go. And different orders here, so you can sort of get a point of reference for the different color schemes. Argent Shroud, Even Chalice, the Valorous Heart, Bloody Rose, Sacred Rose. So that's pretty useful. I wonder, will they have the Minoris as well? They do. Okay. So you've got, what was that one I really liked the look of? Was Iron Veil? Yeah, so that's it here. So I could at least have a reference point there if I want to try out a couple in that color scheme. And then you have more examples here and one of the fully painted up immolators there too. Oh, and some Repentia sisters there. Oh, they look so savage. And look at I'm not sure if these are actually referred to as purity seals, but they look like purity seals hanging off them. And it gives that sense of full movement. Those would be nice to build. Yeah, the Immolator and the Exorcist. How glorious do those look. We get some of these penitent engines here. A bit lost against that background, but pretty cool nonetheless. A better view of them there. Arcoflagellants. Some gorgeous miniatures in this series. And here we are. So we've got a full deployment, congregate and purge, with a breakdown of what each of the units are. 2 immolators. Oh, nice. Loving that. And you can see some of more of the scenery in the background there. So, yeah, that's cool to look at. It'll look good. It'll look good as a deployed army. Oh, wow, that color scheme is fantastic. So I'm guessing from the symbol here, this is the Order of the Martyred Lady. And they do look good. The black, the white, and the red looks fantastic. Oh, I'd be so tempted to paint those as well. Oh, I'm going to run into trouble here with the amount that I want to buy and paint. But I am looking forward to them. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on more of these miniatures after reading this. And then again, like the Blood Angels were into the breakdown of each of the stats cards, the various different abilities and war gear options. And then we get into the weapons. Oh, wow. Khorne doesn't stand a chance. Actually, no, they've got these, so maybe they stand a little bit of a chance, but no, my money's going on the Adepta Sororitas here. This does look weird, though, to me. It looks kind of like a carnival float or something. It's probably supposed to be incredibly dramatic, but I don't know, there's something about it that just looks like a carnival float. Anyway, can't you just see them fighting alongside the blood drinkers? Totally. Then we get into order convictions. It's kind of interesting. Different stratagems, traits, points, values, tactical objectives. And then back to our dark version of the art. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. What more is there to say? Loved going through those 2 books. Now I have to go out and buy a lot of Adepta Sororitas miniatures. I've also got to go out and buy more Codex books because I'm now wanting to find out about Deathwatch and find out about Xenos and Orcs and dang it, I'm going to have to go and buy a lot more books now because those are so entertaining, and you don't have to be into the actual wargaming side of this. There's enough in here just to back up the stuff you've read in the lore and the Black Library. There's, even if you're just sort of curious about how the armies are put together and the all-stars of these various armies, who they are, what they're all about, everything is in here. So I really do. I think there's something for everyone with a passing interest in 40k in these 2 books. And yeah, I've really enjoyed going through them. But that is it for this week. I am very pleased to say that on the next episode, I'm going to be unboxing and building a Dreadnought. Does it get better than that? A Death Company Dreadnought, no less. Can't wait. That's next week. Until then, please like, share, and subscribe. Check out the link to Mighty Lancer Games down below. Catch me on Instagram on Grey Primer Social. But until next week, I will say, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.